depicting herself as a child being taken from her home by strangers into a cave where horrific abuse occurred.
What is this? It's like someone's saying something as a meme. More sick to healing transition, spoony non-binary, and there's a sort of fake beard. The thing that is causing you your mental illness is a certain demon. Now that demon is trapped at the base of my and the only way that you can get rid of this demon is to literally suck it out. So I'm not sure whether this title is clickbait or not, but I thought it would be fun to look at nonetheless regardless. But yeah, we've got this video about DissociaDID. Remember DissociaDID? Classic topic for me. You know, and what with the Ethan Hassan Destiny content at the moment being fever pitch, it'll be fun to take a little dig back into the past archive to see what's going on now. And it's quite recent as well. It's only from 3 days ago. So we'll have a little listen to this and see what we think about it. Let's get into it.
Nowadays, people faking aspects of their lives to chase clout on the internet has become something almost normal. From influencers staging fake drama for views to TikTokers inventing entire identities to go viral, every day there's someone new being exposed for living a lie. But DissociaDID didn't just fake a lifestyle or drama. She took things to a shocking extreme by allegedly manipulating dissociative identity disorder, or DID for internet fame. DID is a severe mental condition in which a person develops multiple distinct identities due to childhood trauma. Yet DissociaDID turned this painful disorder
Dude, it's all coming back to me, the hat. It's like, oh hey, I'm X, Y, and Z person, I'm a woman, right? And then she puts on a cap and she goes, oh hi, this is actually a man now and I'm a boy. I'm actually a boy. Literally just puts a cap on and puts on an accent and goes, yeah, I'm a boy now, eh? I'm whatever the name is. I can't remember the name of the people involved. I'm a bloke. I'm a bloke now, actually. Okay, sure. Sure, DissociaDID or fucking Kyle or whatever the fuck your name is.
Identities due to childhood trauma. Yet DissociaDID turned this painful disorder into a spectacle, leveraging it to build a following of millions. And while there's a huge question mark hanging over whether she eventually has DID, believe me, that's far from the worst thing we're about to uncover in this video.
My name is Nina. Hi YouTube, my name is Jake.
Oh, that's it. Hey, I put a fucking cap on that. My name's Jake.
About to uncover in this video.
My name is Nina.
So we've got Nina, woman, okay, got the hair down, making it obvious it's feminine, and then
hi YouTube,
it's Jake. Oh, dude, why does she look like she's currently going with chemotherapy? She's like tucked up all of her hair into the hat in order to make it look like she's on chemo or some shit. To pretend to be Jake. I'm Jake. I'm Jake. I'm a fragment. Jake the fragment.
My name is Jake. Hello. My name is Gregory.
Oh.
My name's Nadia. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, we've got an accent.
Just a little small.
Oh, that relationship too. Oh my god, this is gonna hit the best moments.
Quick moment.
Sorry, what?
Do you want to take a quick moment off stage?
No, I'm here now. Sorry.
Because DissociaDID didn't stop at glamorizing or potentially faking DID, she blatantly stole deeply traumatic abuse stories from real victims, directly copying their most personal and horrifying experiences from private support groups and passing them off as her own. But even that sickening betrayal isn't the darkest part. What if I told you DissociaDID directly lifted alter identities and traumatic memories from an obscure conspiracy-filled book on Illuminati mind control, a book advocating that DID is artificially created through horrific abuse to produce covert slaves. Yeah, it's twisted as it sounds, and it's exactly what she did. So buckle up, because this rabbit hole is deeper and darker than you can possibly imagine. But before anything, let's see who she is and how she ended up with this much scandal. Despite having a staggering 1.1 million subscribers on YouTube and similarly impressive numbers across her other social media platforms, DissociaDID has actually shared very little information about her early life, making her past somewhat mysterious. But here's what we know. Chloe, which is DissociaDID's birth name and was the original host personality before any other alters appeared, was born, raised, and still lives in the UK. Before settling on a diagnosis...
Yes, he is saying she's faking it. Just to be clear on my position on this lying bitch, as you can probably guess, I have covered her content quite a bit, and I believe that she's faking it. Obviously, I've got no expertise or knowledge about this beyond my own layman's understanding of it. But just you could briefly look at the what is called dissociative identity disorder, and it's extremely clear that this person, among others, are like faking it, because none of what they are saying match up with what the psychiatric understanding of dissociative identity disorder is. And even that doctor that did a video about it, they ended up deleting, I think, mentioned her as one of the key fakers, you know? He better have some bloody good evidence for calling her a liar. I mean, you literally need to watch one of her videos in order to see the dishonesty, right? But yeah.
Diagnosis of DID, she received multiple other diagnoses, including psychosis and borderline personality disorder, BPD. In her own words, she claimed her alters were present long before her diagnosis, but she dismissed these experiences as psychosis at first.
It was renamed DID in 1994, but we knew very little about it. Over the year that she saw us, before she ever mentioned DID, she considered psychosis. This was dismissed after a closer consideration.
If you're confused about why she's referring to herself in the third person here, that's because the person talking in this particular video isn't Chloe, it's her alter, Kaya. It might sound strange, but that's often how people with DID refer to their alters. But here's where the confusion and suspicion
yes, yeah. So one thing to bear in mind with this individual is I'm not writing off that she's mentally ill in some way. I think it's very plausible that she is mentally ill, and her malingering with the DID is like an expression of that mental illness, right? Like, there's no way that someone is going to, like, it doesn't come across like she's faking it purely as like a money thing or something like that. She makes a lot of money from it, but I think there's probably some other mental illness that's causing her to act like this, especially when you consider some of her other behavior that's been exposed. You know, it's unlikely that she's completely clean bill of health and she's just putting it all on. You know, that's my belief, at least. Exactly, like what the elaborate nature by which she's going, where she's got these different outfits and costumes and puts on different accents. It would take a lot for me to believe that someone is just faking that. I think some of the TikTokers probably do. You know, when they're just doing like a quick TikTok, you pretend to be someone else for 30 seconds. Sure, there's probably some people that do that. But when you've got like a whole ass YouTube channel and you've got multiple lengthy videos of you explaining the nonsense DID thing that you're suffering from, you're more knowledgeable than you think, Chud. I remember your alter ableist noir. Yes, I do. So she's grifting off of it, definitely. But I'm not sold on this idea that she's just completely sound of mind doing it, right? It's like a benefit
to creep in.
Something
Within
like
just
that.
the first few minutes of this very same video, Dissocia openly admits she might change details about these stories in future retellings, or acknowledges she might have said contradictory things before.
We may in future remember more things as amnesia shifts, forget other things, or recover additional context, all of which could change the way we perceive what happened. This has happened to us in the past, and it is very normal for DID with splitting, fusion, amnesia, denial, integration, and having multiple different parts, different alters, identities, all holding different parts of the puzzle that is our history. Things shift.
Dude, you guys see a somewhat attractive woman and you literally can't control yourselves, can you? I can fix her, I can fix her. Bro, she's mental. Okay? Being in a relationship with this person would be a horrendous experience. I'm telling you. You do not fucking want that mess, okay?
As we heal, memories are given, forgotten, hidden, and exchanged. This is a journey, and as of right now, this is what I can tell you.
To be fair, memory gaps and inconsistencies can be a genuine characteristic of DID.
Mike.
Someone with the disorder
Whoa,
might
okay.
differently at different times.
Maybe you
But
got a point,
in Chloe's
guys.
case, these constant
Maybe you got a
contradictions
point.
make it extremely difficult to trust anything she says.
So when was it first suggested to us, or when did we first start to click that we might have DID? From December 2015 to mid-2016, we saw a therapist, and we'll call her L. That's not her real name, we've just picked a random name. We saw her for therapy alongside receiving extra psychiatric support from a separate clinic. That clinic is where we were diagnosed with BPD, medicated, and had DBT group therapy. That was all covered by insurance, and it was separate to our therapy with L. Elle was the first professional we'd seen to realise that we had dissociative identity disorder. And upon her mentioning it to us, it was the first time Chloe had ever heard that. We'd heard of multiple personality
Chloe's
disorder
herself.
before, which is what DID used to be called. It was
By the way.
renamed DID in 1994, but we knew very little about it. Over the year that she saw us, before she ever mentioned DID, she considered psychosis. This was dismissed after a closer consideration of our symptoms.
According to her own account, Chloe's mental health took a significant nosedive after her
my
DID
God,
diagnosis, made worse by the stress of university exams. Things got so severe that doctors contacted her university, recommending she take a break. She returned to her parents' home, where she began researching DID extensively. But this is also around the time she joined Facebook groups dedicated to DID support. But these groups weren't just safe spaces for discussion. Sadly, they also became sources from which she allegedly began stealing personal trauma stories. Here's the issue. DID is typically understood as a trauma response from severe childhood experiences, and DissociaDID certainly has shared multiple traumatic stories of her own. However, the validity of these stories has become highly questionable, especially given her extreme claims of experiencing satanic ritual abuse, SRRA, multiple times without her parents' knowledge. In one Facebook post, Dissocia shared a deeply disturbing drawing, allegedly created by one of her little ones, an age-regressed altar depicting herself as a child being taken from her home by strangers into a cave where horrific abuse occurred.
If it is indeed true, which I believe it is, and she's faking it, she's come up with a fake nonce story that she has been abused like that in order to justify her nonsense. Come on, dude. Wrote a whole fanfic about it. Yeah, that doesn't stack up for me.
But here's the kicker. Despite making such dramatic and graphic...
What, is that a drawing? Dude, there's a fucking cave. There's a cave there. Look at this. Taken into the basement, and there's a tunnel in the cave. Oh my god, dude. All woman goon to... Okay, bro. Styler, you're too much, man.
Claims another screenshot emerged
To this.
clearly showing
To
Chloe
non-stuff.
admitting that not only had she never experienced SRRA, she didn't even know what the term meant at the time she posted the drawing. This blatant contradiction cast massive doubt on her story.
Okay, so what is this? With extremely... Hey!
Okay,
Thank you for the super
But
chat.
how do I make money off depressed people?
One argument, and you apparently have had sex with her when she was a little, and you are now a PDF.
Yes, exactly. Got to watch out for that trick. That little trick they use. Thank you for the super chats. We have an extremely hard time with Halloween. We recognise much of what you describe here. For us, this has to do with our history of SRRA. What's SRRA, if that's okay to ask? Satanic ritual abuse. Oh, I don't think we had anything like that. Thank you, though. Well, the problem is that if you've got all these altars, you can just say, "Oh yeah, we didn't know because we were we were dealing with trauma at the time. So obviously we didn't know because the trauma was hiding it from us, and now it's been unlocked. Now I understand it. Now I get it." It's such a little trick that you can use to get around this. There is never any contradictions. Only things that have been shielded from you for your other altars to protect you from trauma. It's actually genius.
But that's not all. Observers quickly pointed out that her disturbing drawings closely resemble those of Kim Noble, a renowned artist with DID whose art vividly depicts genuine childhood abuse. Dissocia's art doesn't look just similar, it feels directly copied, throwing yet another huge red flag on her authenticity. But perhaps the most telling contradictions come from her own words about her family. DissociaDID repeatedly implied her parents were abusive, even directly confirming on Ask...
What is this? This looks like someone's done as a meme. More sick to healing transition, spoony non-binary, and there's a sort of fake beard. That's the kind of thing someone would do as a joke, isn't it? Put a fake fucking beard on her. Queer Russell Brand. Yes, something like that. Mr. Manchi. What do you reckon? You guys reckon you're still going to save her?
FM that she'd been spanked bare bum at just 7 years old. With such explicit claims,
Oh!
you're spanked bare bum.
Bro, the response to that. The response to that is dripping in sickening vibes. Yes. Oh. Why is she saying it like that?
At just 7 years old. With such explicit claims, you'd naturally assume her parents either knew or somehow facilitated the horrifying SRA she described, right? Yet Dissocia directly contradicts herself in a later video with Team Pinata, her then partner, now ex, painting her parents in a far kinder, supportive light.
The reason why my parents, especially my mother, wants to know what happened and will ask me like every time I go to therapy, do you know what happened yet? Do you know what caused this yet? Is because both my parents love me so much and they want to know what on earth happened. Like, what happened? What did they do wrong? You know, what did they miss? Was there something they could have done to avoid it? You know, stuff like that. And it's difficult to see them kind of suffering, holding that alongside me.
Is this some sort of polycule thing? I mean, I know this guy, or this woman, I don't fucking know what's going on here. They are like, I believe, an ex-partner. Disney adult. Well, they went to Disneyland together and said some deranged shit, if I recall correctly. And what is this? The third wheel or something? I don't fucking know, man. Maybe it's some sort of polycule thing. Who knows?
I don't know either, and that's scary, and it's obviously scary for them too.
Yeah.
But like something, my dad struggled to swallow it more than my mum did. Coming to terms with DID. And one thing I remember him saying really vividly, that he said a few times actually, that he said, well, this makes sense now and it didn't before, was apparently me saying something and it was regarding suicide.
So Dissocia is clearly contradicting herself, but not as much as her diagnosis stories. And this is where things get even messier. DissociaDID has repeatedly said she was diagnosed at the Powdergate Center in the UK by a psychotherapist named Remy Aquaran. On the surface, that might sound legit.
Oh, yes, he's going to get into this. We looked at this before. But apparently this is someone who does like the kind... You know, you get these doctors that are willing to put their name to like weird, dodgy diagnoses. Like, and you do that thing, what's it called? Diagnosis shopping, where you go to different doctors and, yeah, like a quack doctor that will sign you off on whatever condition, you know, and it's their whole thing, what they do. Yeah. We looked at this before.
An official-sounding clinic and a respected-sounding man. But once you
One
dig
step
even
ahead.
a little deep, the entire foundation starts to crumble. First of all, under UK healthcare regulations, a psychotherapist can't legally diagnose someone with DID. It has to come through a psychiatrist, often under the NHS, and after very rigorous evaluation. But the Powdergate Center, it doesn't diagnose people. It offers an assessment, which is basically a series of questionnaires, like the DES, Dissociative Experiences Scale, to evaluate if someone might have a dissociative disorder. It's not an official diagnosis. It's more like
how to get Chud to like your video. Repackage his video and or glaze him for being correct. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Bro, what's wrong with that? Well, you know, I mean, his tone is a bit annoying. You know, his tone is a bit irritating. He needs to work on that. But the video itself, I know I've not covered DissociaDID for ages. Does seem to be hitting on the points that I recall being correct, you know? So, yeah. Like, I remember that doctor's name. I remember looking at this. I remember going over it on stream. And it did seem to stack up that she was seemingly getting this diagnosis from this quack, you know? So far, so good, I'd say.
Like a suggestion, a very expensive suggestion. And here's where it gets sketchier. Remy Aquaran, the man behind the Powdergate Center, isn't just a psychotherapist, he's also a known supporter of conspiracy-laced narratives like Illuminati mind control and satanic ritual abuse, SRRA. The Powdergate Center has direct connections with a UK nonprofit called First Person Plural, EP, which has been criticized for promoting outdated and unscientific beliefs around SRRA and cult mind control, topics that the broader psychiatric community has long debunked as moral panic-era fiction. In other words, the place DissociaDID went to for her diagnosis has a reputation for fueling delusions, not healing them. And what's worse, reports have come out suggesting that the Powdergate Center has a habit of handing out
Doesn't DID potentially not even exist, or was the multiple personality disorder? I know there are psychologists definitely don't think it's real. My baseline understanding is that there is an agreement that severe trauma, particularly in childhood, can lead to, you know, some sort of state, some sort of psychiatric issue. And I think that a disagreement is whether you frame it as this kind of multiple personality or dissociative identity disorder thing or not. But the idea that there's some trauma that can lead to such a brutal impact on your psyche that you have, you know, this type of thing happen, I think is accepted. It's just, what do we call it? How do we frame it, etc. And on top of that, the people that are suffering with this and are accepted as having this, is it's not in any way familiar with, like, you know, the Split movie is obviously a movie. It's not like the Split movie. It's not like this. It's people that have got, you know, periods of blackouts. They don't recall things that they've apparently done. You know, many people that have got it top themselves. And the people that suffer with it tend to be in, like, psychiatric care, you know, like serious psychiatric care. And it doesn't seem to be a condition that you could just have a normal life and do your little YouTube videos with. It's very debilitating. And yeah, generally speaking, you know, from what I can gather, you need detailed psychiatric care, often like inpatient, rather than just being able to exist. But again, I'm not an expert. I don't know the ins and outs of this. I'm a layman. This is just on the basis of my layman's research into it all and looking into it from covering this individual. So what I do think is fair to say is a lot of the stuff you see online, as I said, is bullshit. And this idea that it's fun and quirky and you switch between alters and you can understand that and you can capture it in a video and they've all got quirky names and personality traits, that is completely bogus. Doesn't match up with any of the literature that exists about this supposed condition. Right? You can't switch it on and off. It's like, yeah, it's like you lose control of your life because of, like, space of blackouts and not knowing what's happened and being confused and etc. Okay, that is my understanding of it. Anyway, that's my
Dissociative
take.
diagnosis to anyone who can pay. Multiple sources have stated that 90% of their assessments result in a dissociation diagnosis, and a stunning 60% of clients are told they have DID, which is astronomical when you compare that to actual prevalence rates. In the UK, only about 1.5% of the entire population is estimated to have DID, and that's a generous estimate. So either Powdergate is sitting on the mother lode of undiagnosed cases, or they're handing out diagnosis like candy at Halloween. Even respected mental health professionals have spoken out against the center. One psychologist went so far as to publish an article condemning Powdergate, saying that their assessments do more harm than good, planting false ideas in vulnerable people's...
1% does seem high. What is the percent? Does it say UK? Did they say UK? Percentage of diagnosed DID in the UK. Okay. It does, yeah. Well, it says in this NIH website 1.5% of the global population. So yeah. 1 to 1.5% of the general population, so that stacks up. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm getting just having a quick brief look through Google. Yeah. Take from that what you will, I guess. But I mean, 1% is very low, you know? And also, I don't know if it's like, it could be like just dissociative disorder more broadly. But yeah.
minds and sending them down the rabbit hole of imaginary disorders and repressed false memories. Now back to DissociaDID. She once shared her DES score publicly, an 86.7, which is exceptionally high.
Wow.
For context, even people with legitimate DID usually score somewhere between 30 and 60.
30 indicate significant dissociative symptoms, and further investigation to include a dissociative disorder is called for. So we started with that. My score was well over 30. It was 86.
Dude. I mean, isn't that an indication that you're doing... They normally are able to screen for that. And they say that if you've got particularly high scores, they'll be able to discern that, and then they'll kind of consider that when they're assessing you. Malingerers will tend to score highly because they'll answer it in a way that they're expecting to be looked for. And then part of the assessment is, okay, do we have too high a score? I mean, if it's that high above, that would suggest to me that, yeah, you were just answering the questions how you expect them to be answered.
0.87. This was further analysed using the D.
Her number was nearly off the charts. While that doesn't prove she's faking, Experts agree that a score that high often indicates
Yeah,
malingering, or to
Yes.
put it plainly, faking symptoms.
Yes.
And it's not just about the score. DissociaDID herself has admitted in a video from 2023 that she never actually got an NHS diagnosis, only the Powdergate assessment. That was her
Yep.
stance. Until people started looking into Powdergate's shady reputation, suddenly she changed her story. Out of nowhere, she began claiming that she had been diagnosed through the NHS after all. But the timeline doesn't match. The change in her narrative came after public backlash, when people began posting about the unreliability of Powdergate and its connection to fringe conspiracy.
At this point, this is just it. Okay. I mean, obviously, I've made much of the same points. So, of course, I'm going to agree. What do you want me to say?
Instead of addressing those concerns, she just started deleting comments, scrubbing doubts, and quietly slipping in this new version of events. And that's the problem. It's not just that her stories are inconsistent, it's that they change only when she's caught. When nobody's looking, she's more than happy to build her story on unreliable sources and shady clinics. But the moment people start connecting the dots, she rewrites her past like it's a rough draft, not a diagnosis. This isn't just terrible, but also disrespect to the people with DID. And talking of disrespect, there's even a much worse thing DissociaDID did, and that's bluntly stealing other people's trauma and talking about it on her videos like it's her own story. Many people on Reddit and other forums have come forward with some serious accusations against DissociaDID. Not just that she exaggerated or faked her symptoms, but that she straight up stole their trauma. I know that sounds extreme, but hear me out. According to these users, some of whom were part of private DID support groups, Chloe allegedly took stories they had shared, deeply personal, horrific abuse stories, and slowly integrated them into her own narrative. Not word for word, but close enough to be unmistakable.
Have I covered this? I can't remember. Did I cover this? Someone will have to remind me. I can't recall. I don't know if I went into the depths of the Reddits and looked at it to that level. But yeah, I mean, damn, this sounds pretty crazy if true. Let's see what they got.
Then, like clockwork, a year or so later, she would drop a video acting like one of her alters had suddenly remembered going through the exact same thing. One person described the moment they realized what had happened, saying,
my God,
"It's not just our inner world they basically copied, but traits of our alters suddenly became full alters of theirs. They also took certain aspects of our abuse and information we disclosed in a private group, and suddenly it became part of their inner world." They were smart in that they waited over a year to make the video, probably thinking people had forgotten. It's pretty hard to forget your own abuse, so seeing it in a video of theirs...
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I don't have all the facts in front of me to look at and all the videos, but like, yeah, this is believable. I can easily imagine, like, this is what I'm saying. It sounds like a credible claim. I can imagine this happening. Like, it would seem bizarre to me that this random Redditor would just make this up whole cloth, especially if there's other people that are saying this too. And yeah, I mean, this could be indicative of that kind of whatever actual mental illness she's got, you know? So yeah, it's definitely credible. I need to see more to really put a rubber stamp on it, but yeah. Okay. We're one of those people, and it's not just our inner world they basically copied, but our traits of our alters suddenly became full alters of theirs. They also took certain aspects of our abuse and information we disclosed in a private group, and suddenly it became part of their inner world. They were smart in that they waited over a year to make the video, probably thinking people had forgotten. It's pretty hard to forget your own abuse, DD, so seeing it in a video of theirs was soul destroying. There's one of the... Oh, okay. Listen, stop perving over her, okay? She's not to be perved over. She's to be mocked. Literally crushed us and we commented. Of course it was deleted. We're not the only ones who've been betrayed by DD or had our personal histories made a joke of just because they couldn't make up their own inner world. Right, okay. No, absolutely no simping ever for this bitch.
was soul-destroying. That's heavy. And even if you want to give her the benefit of the doubt, even if you think maybe people just misunderstood or maybe she just had a similar experience.
Chud, a lot of our anti-fans still believe in DID. Yeah, as I found out. Much to my frustration when my videos were getting posted in a subreddit. And people were, you know, bothered by the fact that I was so fucking, you know, aggressive or whatever. But I don't know, dude. I think that, you know, dude, I go backwards and forwards on it, really. I think that psychiatry is fallible. And I think it would be silly to act like what psychiatrists say now about this condition is the be-all and end-all, especially as they've already changed it from multiple personality disorder to dissociative identity disorder. So it clearly is something that's like a work in progress and not something that is final. So I think there is some sort of trauma that can cause this to happen. I just don't know if like the framing of it is exactly right. That's my basic belief of it, right? And anyone that is presenting in the way that she does is faking it. That's a given, you know? Something like that.
What she did next kind of makes that impossible. Instead of responding, instead of defending herself or explaining anything, DissociaDID started deleting their comments. People who were saying, hey, that was my story, found their words vanished. And if they kept pushing, she blocked them across platforms. No acknowledgement, no conversation, just delete, block, and move on. And that says a lot. But it doesn't stop there. One of the most bizarre and honestly disturbing moments was when people started noticing her alter named Mara. This edgy, dark prosecutorial character she introduced looked eerily familiar because it wasn't hers. Mara was originally created by Mallory Scheidel, an artist and TikTok creator who built the character as part of a fictional concept. But DissociaDID didn't credit her. Didn't say it was inspired by someone else. She presented Mara as part of her inner world, as if this alter had just organically emerged.
Chud's precious science is in question. You're not going to get any zirconium under your Science-Mus tree this year. Okay, well, how do you explain it? Exactly. Religion?
From her system, and more than that, she gave Mara a role as a prosecutor, which in DID terms often means a tormentor, an internalized abuser. That felt calculated, like it was designed to maximize impact, to provoke, to stir up just enough dark intrigue to keep people watching.
I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Oh, her! Yes!
My name is Mara.
Oh my god! Yes, I know about Mara. We watched this before. With the makeup. Oh, I'm a new alter now. I've got this perfect makeup on that perfectly displays what it is. Yeah, of course, obviously. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, she's doing the clown. She's doing a bit of weird clown fetish baiting as well, I would wager. Oh, guys, I'm a bit like a clown, aren't I? Persecutor, protector, and then the pronouns as well. Oh my god, too good.
I'm the first persecutor to be on the channel. Although, technically, I'm a persecutor protector. I'm rehabilitating. But Kaya's been preparing to film an update video that everybody's been asking about. That meant that they wanted to put on makeup today.
Also, there's a weird sexual element to this as well, let's be honest. There's a very unusual, unpleasant sexual element occurring too with all of this. The way she's looking at the camera and stuff. Like, there's definitely... Like, someone asked earlier as a joke, does she have an OnlyFans? Well, no, but she wants people to ask that question, I reckon. She wants people to be thinking that about her. She wants the gooner bait on the go without delivering the goods.
And that appears to be a positive trigger. So I try to make myself look a little bit more like myself. There's nothing I could do about my hair. Kaya's standing right over my shoulder.
When a commenter called her out on it, she didn't deny it. She simply said, Mara is an introject. Pretty normal to happen with DID. Now look, yes, introjects are a real thing in DID. Alters based on fictional or real people do exist, but this wasn't just someone who watched a character and had a dream about them.
That's too gracious, I think, towards some of the DID derangement. I don't know if I'd agree with that. What does it mean to be real, exactly? What does it mean to be real? Like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you determine that that's real? Like, that sounds like it's come up in someone's head and someone's assessing it again. Maybe it's real. I don't understand how that could be real. It feels like you're too gracious towards the didders there.
This was a direct lift, a full character, story, look, and vibe taken from another creator who'd already built it and turned it into content. There is a difference between an involuntary mental process and marketing strategy, and this felt like the latter. It didn't stop there either. Someone asked her where she got the information that shaped her system, where she learned what DID was and how it worked, and among the sources she listed, she included The Haunted Self by Anno van der Hart. That name might not ring alarm bells right away, but here's the thing. Anno van der Hart is one of the most controversial figures in trauma therapy, not just for his theories, but because he was permanently banned from practicing therapy in the Netherlands after decades of documented ethical violations. We're talking boundary issues, inappropriate conduct with clients, the kind of stuff that gets you stripped of your license for life. So
okay, I do have a criticism of this video, actually. I feel like we're repeating the same images being used again and again. So I don't really like that. Like, if you're going to do an edited video like this, at least like use new imagery or something. Why are they still... Like, we've seen these images like twice, it feels like, already. But anyway.
Because he was permanently banned from practicing therapy in the Netherlands after decades of documented ethical violations. We're talking boundary issues, inappropriate conduct with clients, the kind of stuff that gets you stripped of your license for life. So
the thing that is causing you your mental illness is a certain demon. Now, that demon is trapped at the base of my penis, and the only way that you can get rid of this demon is to literally suck it out. So, you must suck my penis to get rid of the demon, and that will save you. Is that the sort of ethical violations that would go? Because if you're going to do an ethical violation, you might as well go whole hog, literally, with it. You know? Some schizo that thinks there's a demon in your cock can start sucking it. It's like, yeah, it's like snake venom. You got to suck it out of at the shaft of my cock.
When DissociaDID says she formed parts of her system based on his work, even after knowing his history, it starts to feel less like research and more like justification, like she's cherry-picking anything that can support her narrative, regardless of whether it's reputable or even safe. And you start to notice a pattern here. Every time someone calls her out, every time a story cracks or someone pokes a hole in her timeline, she doesn't reflect, she doesn't clarify, she erases, deletes the comment, blocks the account, then rewrites the narrative slightly and keeps going like nothing happened. You can't say with 100% certainty that every story she told was false, but when your defense to stealing trauma stories is blocking survivors, when your explanation for copying a fictional character is it's normal, and when your inspiration comes from a disgraced therapist, it doesn't scream truth, it screams control. It screams manipulation. And I'm not here to say whether or not she has DID, that's not my place. But what I can say is this. There are people who live with this disorder every single day, quietly, privately, struggling to survive, not to go viral. So when someone like this turns it into a brand, and worse, uses other people's pain to fuel that brand, it's not just shady, it's cruel. And just when you think it couldn't possibly get more absurd, just when you're trying to make sense of
I mean, I obviously personally am not particularly bothered about it being like, I don't know. Like, it'd be a bit, like, yeah, it's the internet. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you share stories of your trauma, it sucks if someone's using that against you, but it's like, you know, you've just got to not share that on the internet. I don't think there's much privacy in these groups that you can really rely on. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's cruel. It's mean to do, but it's like, you share some responsibility for putting that on the internet, even in a private group. And you've got to accept that people are going to do things like that. And therefore, you shouldn't say shit on the internet about this, and you should keep it offline to friends, to family, to your therapist, whatever the case may be. You know? Exactly. It's like, I don't think you can really have a meaningful expectation of privacy on your trauma-based story if you're putting it in even what you perceive as a private group, because it's not going to be private. Okay? It's not going to be private, and someone is always going to have a look at it and do something with it you don't want them to do. Once you put it on the internet, you are essentially, your hands are off of it, and then it can go in ways you wouldn't want it to, in ways you might not even expect. So the absolute best thing to do is to not put the shit on the internet, and then no one's got it to do anything with.
The trauma theft, the character plagiarism, and the erasure of anyone who dares to speak up, it somehow gets worse. Because, turns out, some of her alter identities and traumatic backstories weren't just lifted from real survivors or creators online, they were pulled almost word for word from obscure conspiracy-heavy Illuminati books. Yeah, I wish I was joking.
Access to the dungeons, who has access to the carousel, who has access to the basement, and nobody has access beyond the carousel except me and one of our persecutors, Demon.
The book is called The Illuminati Formula Used to Create an Undetectable Total Mind Control Slave. And this isn't a book talking about some obscure conspiracy theory. It's a fever dream of a book filled with outrageous claims about the Illuminati and mind control, often wrapped up in trauma-based manipulation theories.
Dude, this vaguely rings a bell. Have I covered this? I can't remember. I think the book stuff, I feel like I did hear about it, but it seemed like too much of a rabbit hole to get into, and I don't think I ever meaningfully looked into it. That's my recollection of it.
Okay,
So I'm going to proceed as if I don't know about this, okay?
Off depressed people.
Thank you for the super chat. Just a big budget video was great. Great video. My altar covered it. No. They're saying that there's a book that she basically stole from, and it's fueled her presentation on the internet, and so it's just like more dishonesty from her, essentially.
It talks about how the Illuminati supposedly uses extreme trauma, frequently via satanic ritual abuse, SRRA, to induce DID in people and turn them into mind-controlled puppets. These altars are created with specific roles, often involving espionage, sex work, or being manipulated into certain behaviors without the person ever realizing it. And guess what? DissociaDID took pages, and I mean pages, out of this book. No shame, no hesitation, and it's like she thought we wouldn't catch on. She shamelessly lifted altars and concepts directly from this bizarre narrative. Honestly, it feels like a slap in the face to anyone who actually struggles with DID, because she's exploiting trauma for clout, using some seriously dangerous and irresponsible ideas as inspiration. And she didn't stop at just using the names.
Wait, what was that? Did you hear that? Maybe I did cover it, I can't remember. I could be wrong. I feel like when we did it was very cursory, and I didn't really get into it. I just think I maybe looked at the comparison, was like, oh, that seems legit. I can't
struggles with DID because she's exploiting trauma for clout, using some seriously dangerous and irresponsible ideas as inspiration. And she didn't stop it.
Why did it cut off at okay. I actually quite like this video. I don't think this guy is giving it a go. I'm going to subscribe to him. But, you know, that was a bit like, what? Surely you want to get that right. Like, I'm not an editor, so I don't know, but how do you mess it up that you cut yourself off in the middle of a word? Is it AI? I can't tell. If it's AI, I'll be obviously more skeptical of the whole thing. But I think this is his real voice, no? It's tough to tell nowadays, isn't it? Dude, AI slop channels, I think, are the way forward. Wait, is Kick Chat on the screen or not? Oh, it is on the screen. I don't know. Okay. Someone just got banned. They were just saying stupid shit in chat. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, love all my chats. Love you all. Much love. Much love to all of you. Okay, much appreciated.
Just using the names or basic concepts. She took the whole character setup almost word for word, like it was some kind of treasure map for her next viral alter persona. Let's start with Omega, because that's where things get particularly sketchy. In the book, Omega altars are designed to trigger suicidal tendencies in times of crisis, often used as a last resort, or in the most extreme of missions. Guess who's got an altar named Omega? That's right, DissociaDID. This Omega isn't just a throwaway name, though. It has the same exact traits from the book: suicidal programming, sexual fluidity, and being defined as a ghost. All copied.
Be the biggest wedding. Do you have any non-binary alters? One of our littles.
Oh.
And Omega is gender fluid. She's most often, she goes by she. But she does change genders sometimes. She also age slides, and she's a ghost, so she's very... I don't know.
No creative flair, just a direct rip-off from a conspiracy theory-driven book that nobody should be taking seriously. But
so obviously I can't see the book in front of me. I don't think they showed it either. Okay. Yeah, so that seems pretty robust, assuming it's in the book. which would be a crazy thing to misrepresent. Okay. I mean, if that matches up, I mean, yeah, it does seem like she's literally read the book and just ripped it straight off of the book, right? What other explanation would there be? You don't. It's just too coincidental to randomly match up all these other details.
Wait, it doesn't
The ghost
end
altar,
there.
yes,
Then
yes,
we've
yes.
got glass, another altar in Dissocia's system. This one is described as a fairy with wings made out of glass. That's pretty whimsical, right? But hang on, the book also has a fairy that balances an hourglass on her wings. And guess what? The hourglass in the book is tied to the suicidal programming. It's almost like
So obviously I had issue with the repeated graphics earlier. Why not show us the passages from the book? Like you could I believe it, having covered this person, but you can really nail it on by including the passages of the book, and that would have then you've got everything you need to go. Oh, okay, that is what's happening here. So I feel like you're kind of missing a trick by not including that, because I'm willing to believe it, but if I was being, extremely skeptical, I would probably not get on board with this, and I'd be like, okay, well, I need to see it first. Oh, is he just taking it from the Reddit post? Well, yeah, I mean, or show the Reddit post, or show something. Just show the Reddit post, at least. Yeah. Why not include that? Okay, well, that's disappointing. That is a disappointing element.
Dissociated took that imagery and just ran with it. Her Omega and Glass altars even share a common space in her inner world, this forest setting. Oh, and get this. The book specifically states that the hourglass is connected to suicidal programming, and Dissociated's altar glass fits right into that mold. Now we're really diving into some deep waters with the next altar, Ruby. This one is a matriarch figure in Dissocia's system, controlling the trauma memories, and allegedly more powerful than the other altars. Guess what? The name Ruby isn't just a coincidence either. The book discusses how Ruby is a trigger word used to unlock specific altars with trauma-holding capabilities, exactly like DissociaDID's Ruby. There's even a red marble in the book, which refers to the part of the brain holding trauma memories. Ruby in the book is used to unlock that red marble, and guess what? DissociaDID's Ruby also holds trauma memories. It's basically a carbon copy.
Ruby, I'm in my 30s. Not really any of your business exactly how old I am. I know people are going to be like, Ruby's a dick, or Ruby's really, really rude. Honestly, I don't give a you can say whatever you want about me. I'm like this for a reason, and frankly, I don't really care to change.
LARPing is an obnoxious, annoying bitch. Wow, really giving the game away there. This is what women want to be like all the time. And she gets to lean into it with this little Ruby character.
I've done enough of that. So I used to be a persecutor. If you don't know what that is, educate yourself. Videos on the channel.
Oh my God,
Chloe will probably link one somewhere if you want to know what the hell that is. But it basically means that I was a...
She is obviously putting some elaboration on it with her own acting or whatever. But yeah, the idea is that she has taken some of these characters specifically from this book, and that is what has fueled, much of her channel is playing these characters essentially. I mean, that sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? That pause. Yes, I've honestly, I'm glad someone suggested this to me, because this is a little fun trip down memory lane with, I think, some fresh details in, I believe. But yeah, very good stuff.
Bad altar. I used to harm the body, generally do not nice stuff. I never hurt anyone else. I never would hurt anyone else except in self-defense. I exist to keep the system physically safe. If somebody came to fight us or something, or we needed to physically defend ourselves because someone was like literally punching us or something like that, I'm the one who would front. I've got very high pain tolerance. I'm good at assessing, I think I'm good at assessing danger.
But here's the real kicker. DissociaDID has openly talked about how she's glad she didn't experience SRRA, this thing that she spent so much time talking about, making it seem like it's part of her trauma story. Funny thing though, she didn't even know what the term SRRA meant until she started asking people in Facebook groups. Yeah, that's right. She was going around in private groups asking if anyone had experienced SRRA, clearly fishing for details to add to her own narrative.
Media portrayal of this disorder, whether it's accurate or not, what was the first kind of image that you saw, that you guys saw?
Fight Club.
Fight Club, wow.
I must say, this person was like massively I mean, this is more proof she's mentally ill. Why is she with this fucking weird looking guy? What is that about?
Image that you saw, that you guys saw.
Fight Club.
Fight Club. What the fuck is that voice? That I did.
Fight Club, wow. Mine was actually a documentary about a lady on YouTube, and I saw it, I must have been like 15, 16, and that was way before I knew about the idea. I wasn't diagnosed, or like it was suggested to me when I was, I think, 19. So when I saw that, I found it so interesting, and I was like, this is absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine living like that. Can you imagine having that kind of trauma? Because her trauma was like satanic cult abuse, and I remember watching it and thinking, Christ, like that's so interesting, but also, oh my god, I'm so glad nothing like that.
Smaggle, yes, dude, Smaggle's got a chance, guys. Smaggle's in with the chance with someone at least. Someone will take the fucking autistic weirdo.
That never happened.
Whoa.
Now let's talk about the Granddad's Lounge situation. This is where it gets a bit more telling. There is a YouTube channel called Granddad's Lounge that exposed DissociaDID's blatant copying of this Illuminati book.
Oh my god, Granddad's Lounge gets mentioned. No way, do you remember Granddad's Lounge? Oh, that is, dude, not everyone's going to get that. Granddad's Lounge is like a chatter that used to knock about. I used to chat quite a lot. And then we had this like ad hoc panel a while ago, and he came on, and dude, I can't remember what the panel was about, but then he ended up talking about his interest in consent, non-consent, and then obviously people were like mocking him for that. Oh, was that? Oh, it was about the L word. Of course it was. Yeah. But yeah, because I think the argument was, well, if you're saying that people are into that material like that, well, what about you liking consent, non-consent? Surely that is indicative that you're like into assault in some fashion. Well, the idea was to point out the hypocrisy of being against that while simultaneously being into consent, non-consent. And I'm pretty sure he offered that apropos of nothing. I don't think he even was particularly pressed about it. He just kind of offered it up, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly. Oh my god, dude. That was so funny. Oh. Bro. Come back, Grandad's Lounge. Come on. Coming out of the cold, okay? We've got some women. We've got some women that are into that sort of thing for you, to feed to you.
And how did
DissociaDID
respond? She copyright struck the channel not once, not twice, but
what?
3 times.
Is that true?
DissociaDID's blatant copying of this Illuminati
Did
book.
that happen?
And how did DissociaDID respond? She copyright struck the channel not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Did that come up? Did I speak about that? God, this is so difficult. I feel like I should have covered that, but I don't think I did. I can't remember.
3 strikes. That's the exact amount needed to get banned temporarily. But guess what? She failed. The channel didn't get permanently shut down, but the video got removed. And here's the kicker. Why would she be so desperate to remove a video that was just exposing the truth? Why try so hard to silence someone calling out the fraud if the allegations weren't true? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? This whole situation reeks of manipulation and exploitation. It's not just about copying trauma stories or stealing characters from other creators. It's about actively using other people's pain and experiences to fuel her own personal brand, all while erasing and blocking anyone who calls out her contradictions or inconsistencies. What she's doing here isn't just careless, it's calculated. She's rewriting her past, cherry-picking whatever fits and erasing anything that doesn't. And for what? To turn it all into content. So clearly DissociaDID wasn't just borrowing questionable stories from conspiracy-heavy sources, she was actively profiting off them. But hold tight, because as sketchy as this all seems, DissociaDID's next chapter of controversy might even be more unsettling. Back in 2019, DissociaDID announced she was dating another DID YouTuber called Team Pinata.
Oh!
At first, it was just one of Dissocia's alters,
Let's
Min,
go!
dating Man from Team Pinata, and the internet was eating it up. But soon enough, they
Eating
both
it up.
made things even more bizarre, claiming multiple alters from each of their systems had started dating.
Yes.
They didn't just announce this quietly either. They glamorized it, like it was some kind of DID fairy tale, romanticized.
What was it that like the miners in their systems were dating or something? But yes, I'm sure that's a very normal thing in dissociative identity disorder. You date someone with it, and all you always start dating one another. I'm sure that's a very common thing and not completely made up nonsense for the TikTok crowd.
A disorder that's literally caused by childhood trauma.
Oh, this is it. Yes, yes.
Me too. Yeah.
Two people pretending to be minors, flirting in front of us and dating. Okay. Yes, I'm sure this is perfectly legit. Nothing to worry about here, guys.
A little small. Just a little small.
Oh, I watched this before.
Everybody, we're friends. We're friends, everybody. Yeah. It's a good day. It's the best to say. I don't have any friends but Tommy. But now I have best friends. We're best friends now. And I take care of you now. But still be best friends. We both have big bodies. It's...
Oh! Oh, we both got big bodies. Ack.
It was genuinely dangerous. By glamorizing DID in such a public and sensational way, DissociaDID and Team Piñata were setting up vulnerable people, especially younger viewers, to think having DID was some kind of quirky personality trait rather than a debilitating mental illness. The more they played it up, the more incentive people had to fake symptoms, desperate for that same viral attention. But their weirdly celebrated romance took a darker turn very quickly. In 2020, shocking allegations against Team Piñata surfaced, and they weren't just troubling, they were flat out disturbing.
Oh my god, wait, I think she popped up earlier, but I didn't really react. That surprise witness. Why is that surprise witness here with a ridiculous facial filter to make her look younger? Do you remember the facial filter? Oh god, dude, this reminded me of the Mr. Beast stuff. Remember how played out the Mr. Beast stuff got? Jesus. That surprise witness did have some. There was some funny content there, though. To be fair, but yeah, she's got like this weird facial filter that I think is to make her look younger. And then she was having a go at, who was it? A Keemstar, I think, for being old. And it's like, well, how old are you, bitch? Anyway.
Disturbing. Drawings created by Team Piñata were leaked, revealing deeply inappropriate sexual imagery involving minors. There's no nice way to put this. These drawings were clearly pedophilic. It wasn't just random either.
Let's go!
Turns out Team Piñata was known within certain corners of the internet for having a sneeze fetish. Yeah, that's a real thing. He had openly participated in online communities dedicated to this fetish for years and sold disturbing artworks to his followers. Team Piñata...
Well, hold on. Okay, sneeze fetish, weird. Sneeze, I think, right? Sneeze fetish, weird. The drawing stuff is troubling, especially with the other behavior. But let's not act like a sneeze fetish isn't anything but just ridiculous and funny. I think it was a sneeze fetish, right?
Yeah? These drawings were clearly pedophilic. It wasn't just random either. Turns out Team Piñata was known within certain corners of the internet for having a sneeze fetish.
Sneeze.
Yeah, that's a real thing. He had openly participated in online communities dedicated to this fetish for years and sold disturbing artworks to his followers. Team Piñata didn't just privately harbor these fantasies, he actively marketed and profited off them. It was all right there, documented, posted openly online, and even sold directly to fans. The community that had
I mean, I'm guessing it's probably related to the feeling of sneezing, you know, something playing with the idea that a sneeze is about to happen or something. I can kind of envision the artwork, you know, around a sneezing fetish as it is. Right? Oh, I've got a big one coming. I'm gonna. Oh no, I can't stop myself. Something, a sneeze edging, shit like that. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it is.
Idolized DissociaDID and Team Piñata's relationship instantly turned against them. And as if things couldn't spiral...
Yeah, probably some sort of thing about you sneeze and all the fluid comes out. There's probably something weird and, you know... What's the word? Like, what's the fucking... You know, weird, psychological about that, you know, fluids coming out. I don't know, dude. You can just see it, can't you?
Any worse? Just as this storm of backlash reached its peak, someone on Kiwi Farms maliciously leaked DissociaDID's parents' address, along with her personal and medical information, effectively doxing her. It was a genuinely messed up move that further complicated an already messy situation.
Well, hold on. Hold up. yes, obviously doxing the parents is fucked, I agree. But if you're, like, this is the difficulty, isn't it? Obviously, you should hide their personal information. But if someone is claiming to have a certain medical condition, it's like, well, you know, does the medical records give us something that maybe we need to see? I don't know. Like, at what point is it okay to leak someone's medical records if you're exposing some sort of scam or dishonesty? You know? Like, say, for example, that I had cancer, right? I mean, this obviously came up last with fucking Boogie, but is it not reasonable that, like, you might want to understand my medical records and therefore leaking that is in a journalistic practice? I don't know. There's probably some argument, as long as it's censored appropriately, that there is some interest in that because this person is making money off of claiming they've got a certain disorder. The parents must pay. No, come on, the parents aren't at fault. What the fuck are the parents supposed to do? Parents are just, they're not, no. That's a bit harsh. I don't agree with that. But yeah, I think it's reasonable to say, well, there's a question mark over this, and maybe there is some value in seeing your medical records. I don't know.
Understandably drove
Maybe.
DissociaDID into a lengthy hiatus from social media.
Hey everybody, we're taking a break from our break to address what's going on with Team Pinata. When the images first started coming out, we wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, dude, I never saw this before. This is new information. Let's go.
And we did, but now that there's more information and more things that have been leaked that we absolutely can't endorse, it's not okay. We didn't know about any of this stuff. So, obviously it's a shock. And we can't endorse or support it. It's not okay.
I mean, you were there in a video doing your little routine with them, so to speak. I mean, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I buy this. I'm a little bit skeptical of this complete denial. Oh, I had no idea. You were pretending to be a child with them at Disneyland or whatever the fuck you were. I'm pretty sure there was some insight here. I don't think this is a complete shock as you're presenting it to be.
And obviously we are very shocked and hurt and betrayed, and I don't know what's going to happen going forward, so please respect our privacy, and we're so sorry that we didn't know. Please stay safe, everybody. Bye.
When Dissocia finally returned, she made sure everyone knew she was distancing herself from Team Pinata. But here's where things once again get shady. Despite publicly breaking things off, she subtly continued showing affection towards him behind the scenes. She even went as far as encouraging other people not to abandon him and publicly advocated for Team Pinata to attend the entitled DID Life conference. This was after multiple people and systems clearly expressed how uncomfortable and unsafe his presence would make them feel. In other words, DissociaDID was playing both sides, publicly denouncing Team Pinata for optics, but privately rallying support for him, regardless of his disgusting actions. Now look, I'm not here to judge whether DissociaDID is faking DID or not. To be honest, it's impossible to say without seeing official medical records from a recognized healthcare facility. But after everything we've covered, one thing is painfully clear. DissociaDID isn't just casually presenting DID.
So I'm dude, it's like I'm waiting for that. Can we see that then? What, like, this video, it teases something. Oh, yeah, well, then this happened. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to see it or hear it or whatever. And then it's like, moves on to the next point. Well, show that. That's like the meat and potatoes. That's what you want to be looking at, surely, is proof and back. Why not just show it in the video? Yeah, disappointing. I think with some tweaking, this video could be really good. But it just lacks little things that you just need to see, I think.
Is actively glamorizing it. Watching her content, you'd think DID was a trendy aesthetic, something cool to try out or collect, rather than an incredibly serious mental health disorder rooted deeply in trauma. Think about it. Her constant obsession with portraying each alter as these quirky, full-fledged people with detailed fashion sense, unique catchphrases, and trendy aesthetics doesn't just blur the lines between serious mental illness and playful personality quirks. it outright obliterates them. It's almost as if DID is just an edgy cosplay for her, a twisted fantasy played out publicly, designed to capture attention and rake in views at the expense of actual sufferers. And you know what the worst part is? It's working. Her glamorized portrayal has made DID seem almost appealing to countless impressionable viewers. Instead of seeking help, young people start romanticizing their own symptoms, or even worse, faking them. I've seen comment after comment from kids genuinely believing they have DID because they feel different or simply want the same dramatic intrigue Dissocia displays. She turned a severe, complex disorder into an aesthetic identity
I wanna talk
openly
rather than a painful condition you must manage and heal
Listen,
from. Not only is
Oh
this
my God,
deeply
dude. I
irresponsible,
can't escape
it's
him.
downright dangerous. By fetishizing her all
Bro, I'm trying to search TikTok for something and fucking Harry Sissons is there. And I click out of it and he's there again.
treating them as some quirky band of characters, she trivializes the immense emotional pain, the confusion, and the genuine danger actual DID sufferers face. This casual and cutesy depiction also leads directly into widespread misinformation. Dissocia consistently presents distorted ideas, outright falsehoods, and unreliable narratives about DID as if they're fact. Her misinformation isn't just misled, it's actively harmful to a community already struggling to be understood and taken seriously. Like, it's one thing to battle privately with a disorder you didn't ask for. It's entirely another to capitalize shamelessly on it, glamorize it for attention, fetishize it for content, and actively push misinformation. What DissociaDID is doing isn't advocacy, it's exploitation, plain and simple, and it's something we absolutely shouldn't tolerate. In the end, it's clear, DissociaDID hasn't just made mistakes, she's systematically turned trauma and mental health into clickbait entertainment. She's turned suffering into a brand, an aesthetic of fantasy, one she continually profits from. And in doing so, she's not just disrespecting every single person genuinely struggling with DID, she's hurting them too. So if after everything we've covered, if you're left feeling disturbed, confused, and genuinely angry, trust me, you're not alone. Because what DissociaDID is doing isn't just wrong, it's unforgivably terrible.
I mean, that video was fine, I guess. You know, I just... there's definitely a slop tent aspect to it, I think, where it's like, you know... And listen, I'm a slop purveyor myself. And there's some good information in there, but it's like...
Into her own...
It felt like some of it was being pulled from, say, the Reddit, and then you're not showing the Reddit post. And then you're not seeing, like, anything. And so it's like, I have to take your word for it, where you could have shown something, you know? Can't you just like something for once? No, I cannot like anything. I'm too, you know, criticism-brained. I can't help it. Is it AI? I don't think it's AI. Well, the thing that, you know, got me in, which, to be fair, hey, I got hoisted by my own petard, okay? It was the clickbait. The end of TikTok's worst faker. I thought there was some other thing, but it was actually quite interesting, and there was some new information that I wasn't familiar with. So yeah. Anyway, I wanted to have a quick look at some DID tent on TikTok. The voice, yeah, it could be AI. Dude, I don't fucking know anymore. To be honest with you, this might be the route I go down. I might actually just do this. It's very clear that just doing AI slop tent is the way forward. You know? Just slam out a bunch of videos of us AI slop in and get AI to write the script. You know, go to Grokkit. Deep search. Write me a script that is critical. Write me a video script that is critical of YouTuber dissociated. There we go. It'll spit it out, no problem, I bet. Here we go. Easy peasy. That's how they do it, isn't it? Is that not how they do it? They just get an AI to spit out a script for them? Not this guy. I don't know what this guy's doing, but the actual AI slop channels, that's how you do it. I'm going to start getting Grok to write me whole streams. Write me a script for an 8-hour stream talking about a variety of drama topics. Boom, and then I'm in. Anyway, I wanted to have a little dig through some of the classic did tent on TikTok. So these are the top results just for searching DID.
Hi, I'm Nina, and I have DID. That's really weird to start out with, but you know what? Let's dive into it. One of the things I'd like to start off with is the fact that my DID seems a bit different from everybody else's. No, that doesn't mean I don't have DID. I have still been diagnosed by a psychotherapist, but I'd like to talk a little bit about why it seems.
Psychotherapist. Again, can psychotherapists actually diagnose condition? I don't know what it's like in America. My understanding in America, or any medical thing, it's a psychiatrist that you need, not a psychotherapist, no?
Seems so different compared to everybody else's, I guess. So if you have DID like this, I would absolutely love to know about it because I haven't really met many people like me, and finding information about it is so difficult. It is so difficult. So I thought about sharing my experiences and hopefully this helps. I have one alter as of currently, or one alter that I can reach. Technically, I have two people fully inside of me that I am aware of, but I only...
You don't want to say it like that. What the fuck?
Use one of them in times of extreme stress or distress, which is usually when...
At the same time?
Usually when I've gone through a lot of major trauma. So there's been a few times where I've been sexually assaulted, abused throughout my entire life. There's just been a lot in my life that causes that person to come out only when I black out. And I don't know how else to explain it, but literally it's like I black out and I am no longer me. And I do not have much of a connection with that alter. I really don't know much about her. I know that she can be mean. I know that she is very protective of me, but that's all I really know about her, honest to God. My main alter is somebody who grew up with me. I like to call her Alex because my middle name is Alexandria. So I genuinely didn't know that I had DID. When I first found...
I see we're back to, is it anyone who hasn't been raped? You guys are so sick in the head. Rape is bad, guys. It's not to be joked about, okay? I would never dream to joke about such a terrible topic.
Out, it was over a year and a half ago, and it was actually through a rape trauma counselorist who was talking to me, and we started talking about my past, my family, a lot of things that were really getting to me. She is probably one of the best psychotherapists I've ever been to. It's no offense to anybody else, but she just worked so perfectly for me. Her name is Natasha Noble, and she works out of Ontario, Canada. Amazing woman. She helped me realize that I possibly did have DID, and obviously after a few weeks of looking into this and talking more to her, we found out that I did. I always thought that it was normal to talk to your consciousness. I literally will have internal communication 24/7. It is something that if I am home alone, I'll talk out loud to myself, but it doesn't feel like I'm talking to myself. It feels like I'm talking to my consciousness. And I always thought everybody's consciousness felt separated from them. I didn't realize that the voice in your head is supposed to match you. And for me, I don't have that. So a lot of my DID is internal. And I think that's where I'd like to start. So if you have a lot of like internal DID communication, I'd really like to hear your stories, because one thing I'd like to learn is about our mental health. So thanks.
What it sounds like is some psychotherapist has been like, oh, by the way, yeah, sometimes when people have got trauma, they have this thing called... They have dissociation, and she's then spun it into having this like diagnosis so she can go and make a bunch of fucking TikToks about it or something. You like her? Oh my god, you're trolling. You're fucking trolling. Oh, we got a black one. We got a black. We got a black. Okay, well this is actually a bit more reasonable. Okay. I mean that actually seems a bit more like realistic with like what the actual fucking medical people say about it. I have that too after every Saturday night when I go out drinking. Hey, am I right? Yeah, that's a bit more reasonable. Okay, well I got it wrong. Turns out black people don't suffer with fake DID, from the looks of it. Oh, who is this ugly bin?
I am diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder.
Oh my god, she's fucking... Oh, she's English, isn't she? Damn it, I fucked myself over there. Fuck. Average bonger. Yeah. Most attractive bonger. You've got it. You've nailed it. You got it. I'm raped. I'm totally raped. I'm more raped than that other woman was.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
What if one of her identities is white? That's the real question.
Indeed. Very true. Thank you for $5. One day I'm going to get married to someone that looks like this. Isn't that a tragic thought?
And it's not what you think. I've been diagnosed with DID since 2017, and when they diagnosed me with it, I didn't think it was real. I thought, oh my gosh, that can't happen. That is not real. That's something out of movies. And it's understandable that a lot of people still believe and are very sceptical about the diagnosis, because why wouldn't you be? It sounds absolutely ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, and I have it. When we think of DID, we think of this almost fantasy-like person with all these people inside their head that they become, when realistically it is severe dissociation that has created parts of it.
Oh, okay. Could this be like actually a pushback against the craziness? Sounds like she's going more along the lines of an actual, what the psychiatrics say, rather than what the crazies on TikTok say. Okay.
That take over when we can't cope.
So actually, the ugly ones are the ones that are more real about it from the sounds of it.
I have quite a few parts, over 25, potentially. And I didn't know I had DID. I would never have known I had it unless someone told me, because I didn't remember. I had very severe dissociation between each part of me. I don't really resonate with the traditional language that people sometimes use online, because it doesn't feel authentic to me. So I call them the other me's, the other by their name.
It's kind of mixed in with some other shit. I don't know.
Names. Some of them have names, obviously. I will call them by their name, the other me, or I'll say that I lose time when I become one of these other parts of me that can't remember anything. As far as I know, I've had DID my whole life, and having looked back at my diary entries and the handwriting changes and the very...
Bro, you make a good point. Show me a heterosexual male with DID, I'll wait. That's a problem though, isn't it? Because the males that were abused as kids that could potentially have DID, well,
okay, that's wonderful.
They get on a different pathway in life. Put it that way.
People?
Thank you, Galaxy Door, for the super chat. Stick on boxing, sure. I'll get on right on that. Thank you. Yeah, let's just say, there's a different tact that they take. Let's put it that way.
Severe personality changes through my life. It would be quite obvious that I have had it. And the age I probably first experienced my first switch was probably about 5 years old. The biggest way I cope with having DID is by having people around me, and this is the biggest grounding. It's like an anchor for me to have people around me, hence why I'm on observations while I'm in hospital. So if I can't remember something, it's very important for me to have someone with me that will remember, or if a part of me that comes out that doesn't want to keep us safe, the body, then the person can help keep them safe, either physically restraining them or administering medication. And it's hard to live with, you know, it's not easy. Now, because of recent trauma, it's flared up massively, whereas I've managed to kind of live in the community for the past 10 years and kind of get on with it, but now it's really hard. And it's kind of like having a because I can't say the real word, living inside your head, but they're trying to end you, but they don't know you're there, right?
I mean, this, like...
they don't know you're there.
This feels more realistic.
Okay, that's
as to like what the psychiatrists say about it, right?
Off depressed people.
Boo, go back to the hot one, Boo.
Thank you for the $5. It's not about being hot, okay? Yeah, I think I'm more agreeable to this presentation, sure. Okay.
And they're just trying to do it themselves, but you share a body? Does that make any sense? I don't think so, but that's how it feels. Imagine looking at your hands, and you're looking at your hands here, and then suddenly you're looking at your hands down the road, and you've lost 4 hours, and they don't quite look like your hands, but you know they are, and you don't remember what happened in that amount of time. That's what it feels like to me. Going to have some therapy that will help, and there's not much information out there on how to help somebody with DID, but I'm willing to try and figure it out for myself.
Okay, that was like a more reasonable. Anyway, dude, I tell you what it is, right? What you need is the rainbow flag. That's where you get the real DID10, okay?
Hi guys, my name is Beatrice. I'm a part of the DID system, and I think we've come up with a pretty good way to explain
Here we go. Also, they're trans. Perfect. You're laughing.
Men's terms. So if you would, turn your phone this way for me.
Okay, I can't.
So we have typical development as well.
Bro, I can't turn my head like that.
Development when it comes to the development of
I can't.
identity in childhood.
We get the gist.
As humans, we are all born with elements of our personality. They are just not formed yet, not fully.
Turn your screen, guys.
As we go through life, these elements of our personalities begin to fuse together, and this happens through our experiences, both good and bad. They help to shape us into one cohesive person and identity, and that is what will typically happen when we go through identity formation. However, in DID development, trauma experienced as a child builds walls between these elements of personality. That makes it to where, as we go through our life and our experiences shape us, these elements are unable to fuse together. This is going to cause something called dissociative amnesia, causing these elements to not know exactly what's going on or who each other are. As identity formation continues to take place, each element will form their own personality and identity.
Okay, that's boring. God, where are all the good ones? How are these the top ones? I don't just want to watch fucking this bitch. Oh my god, wait, what's this one? Hang on.
When you have the ID, you feel very
Oh!
alone.
She's pretending to be a kid.
It feels like you're going crazy, and there's no way anyone can understand, and there's no way you can have a good life. And this is it. It's going to be bad life forever. It's always going to be living bad memories, people thinking bad things, and it's not. And even when it feels like that, it feels so bad, and the memories are so bad.
It's okay,
What?
Take your time.
Is that the interview with the Anthony guy? Anthony Paladale, or whatever his name is. What the fuck? And he's just like, yeah, cool. Is that right? Is that what it is? Just pretending to be... Oh, it is. Look, it's his TikTok. Oh my god, bro. And he's like, yeah, take your time. And not like, this is fucking weird. What are you doing, bitch?
And if you want a moment, it's okay. And if you want to cut this part
Paladia,
out,
Paladia.
totally will.
Paladia.
Yeah, so take your time.
But
I guarantee that she wears a Pampers and she probably likes it.
Thank you for the $5. Slender Ender guy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
felt like that. And now everything's different.
What's different?
I'm not alone anymore.
Is that a better feeling?
He's just egging this on. He's giving her a hug. Oh my god, he's hugging her. This Anthony guy's a bit of a weirdo, isn't he? Isn't he like a big YouTuber with like a lot of following? Do I need to watch the whole interview at some point? Is that what we're saying? Oh, it's an adult woman pretending to be a child. Let me give him a hug. No problems there.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, don't be sorry. That's why you're here. You're here to talk about this and to feel these feelings. But let me know if you want to stop
Oh, I did.
for whatever reason.
Did I watch this? Okay.
This is all up to you.
Have I seen this before? Bro, I get so confused with people that I've covered a lot in the past. Have I watched this? Am I reacting with this? But I've seen it before? I feel like I've got DID. It was another fucking person. Big Greg. Big Greg was watching that video, clearly.
Somebody else is here.
Oh no, that's a jacket over her legs to keep her warm or something. I don't know.
Speak whenever you want.
I'm really sorry.
Don't apologize.
I'm too small.
Yeah, it's okay. You have no reason to apologize.
What happened?
I don't remember the name. Years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gave a really good response.
Can I still do it too?
You want to do it too?
I do, yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay to take your time with it. Nobody's entitled to information about why this has happened or anything deeply personal about how you exist as you are, but there is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We see you and we believe you.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever watched it. Maybe at some point we'll watch it. I don't know. What? Okay, dude. I don't know. That looks like some weird sort of bait. What is that? That looks weird. I'm not clicking on that one. More like a whoa.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I?
That does seem more like a
money
dissociation
off the
thing there,
press
right?
It's the fake Olympics. Clout-driven frauds, the lot of them.
I concur. Thank you for the super chat. Oh my god, dude. Who remembers? This ages ago. There was some weirdo in the Discord that claimed to have DID. And they wanted some sort of app to help them facilitate that. And I think we drew a line and were like, no, we're not doing that. That's ridiculous. Back when there was a bit more progressiveness about, I think, if I recall correctly. What happened to them?
Hello, I'm not supposed to be out. I'm 5. I'm eating cookies because I like cookies and they're good.
What kind of cookies are your favorite?
Chocolate chip cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies and milk. And I eat them when they let me out.
Unless you just sneak out, right?
I snuck out this time. They don't know I'm out. Don't tell anybody.
How do you make sure that they don't know that you're out?
I just sneak out and I get to be out. And I don't have to ask. I can just come out and eat cookies.
Oh my god, dude, this is so fucking deranged. He's pretending to be a kid eating cookies and you're just facilitating it, filming him. Oh my god, bro. Doesn't that make you a pedo?
Okay, that's wonderful.
In some
but how
fashion?
Do I make
no?
money off depressed people?
Thanks, Chud. Okay. Now I think I have DID.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It is very creepy, isn't it? There's something very uncomfortable and creepy about the whole thing, pretending to be a child as an adult. In a way that I perceive as being very fake and like fraudulent. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I am very resistant to any sort of, you know, TikTok-esque stuff. I mean, it's total brain rot for kids. And this stuff just troubles me greatly. You know, imagine if your kid got watching this and got ideas in their head, man. It's very, very troubling. Very troubling stuff. Why do you treat mental illness as a joke? Yes, I know you're a troll. You need to fucking set up another alt. That's probably a fucking Aiden alt, I'm guessing. Come on now. Be serious.
What other foods do you like?
I like candy.
Oh! Oh! This can't be real. Oh, dude, he likes candy. I like candy. Bro, it's so twisted. Oh. Jail. I mean, yeah, it does. I mean, definitely troubling behavior. Okay, well, that was a banger. Okay, what is this one?
Your elemental power is green.
What's that?
Green.
Okay, so just to recap. Fire, ice, water, earth, lightning, and...
green.
Okay, so that's some sort of meme, but I'm guessing this is what? This is an app. Is this an app that you could download for the fake DID shit now? If they got apps for it. My role is super interesting. I just help the system go to sleep. So apparently, maybe I'm using the wrong search term. Maybe we need to mix it up a bit. So apparently, yeah, there's an altar and they help the system go to sleep, whatever the fuck that means. Who knows? What the fuck is that? Oh, whoa! What am I looking at here? What is... I've never seen such a crazy thing in my life before. They've got a dog toy or something. They look just kind of bizarre. They look just kind of weird. They put some weird makeup on and pretended to be a dog. Is that what's happening here? Dude, the old, you know, what was like the, oh, you know, the old fucking libtards TikTok spurg, you know. I feel like we're really missing the genre there. There's still a lot of material to go over, it seems. Okay, some of the... Oh my god. Yes, this one looks good. Come on.
Hey, are you there? Hello? Hello? Hi. Okay, you're all right.
What the fuck?
See that. Whoa, who am I? I'm Catelyn. Oh, you must be the protector of the system.
Point of view, yeah. You have severe mental illness. That part is true. So this is the person having did, because women always get POV wrong. You've got did, and you're perceiving there being a presence there. Is that right? Have they actually got it right this time? Why do they look like this? They present themselves in the most antithetical way to any societal norm and wonder why they're maligned by society. You look like a fucking weirdo.
I'm not a threat, I promise. I understand you're probably scared and unsure about me. I understand that. But I'm a friend of your host. You can ask them. You're not certain? That's understandable. You're okay. Can I get you something to drink, something to eat? Yeah, it's a bit cold out here. You want to go inside the house? You're not that comfortable with me yet? That's okay. I understand. Let's just sit out here and talk, alright? Get to know each other, alright? I just want to make sure you feel comfortable with me. You take your time, alright?
Okay. Bro, there's so many of her. She's all over the place. She really is capitalizing on the TikTok memes.
I was a child actor. One of the movies I was in as a kid is on YouTube for free, and you'll never find it.
Average mentally ill girl who spends most of
Because
their time
it's
wearing
obscure
a warm
and
band
weird,
headset
and you'll
playing
never
VR
find it
chat.
on YouTube amongst all those hundreds of thousands of millions of videos.
Oh my god. No way. Do you know what I've been reminded of?
Let's restart.
Stop. I don't care about Charlie Kirk. Oh my god. I think this person may have had DID or had some flavour of autism at least. This is what I'm talking about. Where is it? Yes. This one. Oh, remember this?
We make lemon cake. Repair the firebox. George, wash your disgusting Gerben hay.
Money off the press people.
Lemony. Zest the sour boy. Yeah.
Base, thank you for the super chat. No, I did the wrong thing. There we go.
Repair the firebox.
Sorry, I got it wrong. There we go.
George, wash your disgusting Gerben
Thank you for the
hay.
super chats.
Lemony. Zest the sour boy. Yeah. Sweet rocks. And now incorporate. Hello? Woo. Lemony snicket. Rectangular prisms. Twice. Seems like a lot, but what do I know?
Goblin hands.
Chimkin balloons, but one at a time.
Chimkin balloons. Oh, ha ha ha.
I should have used a bigger bowl. There we go. We eat that we shall eat. Baking a powder. The tears of racists called out in the media.
Oh my god.
Whiskey and the buttery boo. Unionize. Ooh. Time for a hot date. Hasta la pasta. Whiskey. Drizzle. Ah, for the glory of the Gerben Empire. We make lemon.
So what's their name? Seed of the Barefoot. I wonder if they're still making TikTok content.
Said some very nasty things about me online. So
whoa! You cannot escape Charlie Kirk, it seems. At Cedar the Barefoot. Let's see if we can track this individual down. Hey! Yo, they're still going. Have they gone back to normal? Nope. Oh, they've got a little gargoyle meme picture up here. Okay. Oh, they are posting about autism still. But they got normal hair? Oh, they do have normal hair. Wait, they've got hashtag Goblin Empire. That's a hashtag Goblin Empire. What on earth? Hey, there's the OG video. Oh my god, they've got another one.
Yeah, we make cookies. Be sure to wash your filthy goblin hands. First, we will
It's
need
too
a
loud.
ripe banana. Well, maybe not this one because it's been in the freezer.
Oh, let's go.
Weapons grade. Half a cup of Pat's brown sugar. 1/4 a cup of butter, because it's better with butter. We got the granulated sugar.
Yes.
We'll need 1/4 of a cup of it. 1 teaspoon of the vanilla. 1 chimkin balloon. You're so excited.
I'm so excited about this.
1 1/4 cups of flour. I'm so sorry. 2 cups of oats. 1 teaspoon of the floofy soda. Half a teaspoon of 45's tears after his indictment.
Oh my god, dude. They're doing Trump memes. Little do they know that Trump is going to be back and you're probably going to get put in a fucking black site in Alabama. Oh, Trump. Trump bad, am I right, guys? Well, he's on the way back. And little do you know what awaits you.
At least half a cup of chocolate chips. Okay, let's make this weird.
You go to El Salvador, bitch.
Like sunflower
You can bake your fucking gay cookies in an El Salvador super prison.
coconut flakes. Yeah. And we got a spoon. I do love a good little spoon. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. 18 minutes. I suppose we should clean up the workstation. Nah, that's a problem for future me. Hello. It don't look very pretty, but will it taste good? Ow.
Oh, noms. Gerblin noms. Gerblin noms. Gerblin noms. Oh my god, they got so many. Okay, I'm going to watch one more. They made bread. Let's see the bread one. This is great.
We make bread. Hey, waiter. Hey, look, a squirrel. Oh, damn.
Okay, let me see that.
Sure to wash your filthy Gerblin hands. Consult the sacred texts. Warm H2O, sweet debris. Yeast. Agitation for yeastlings. This yeast is more active than a neurotypical after 2 shots of espresso.
Oh my god.
Add the rest of the sweet debris. Fascist tears.
Yes!
They're adding the flour
Fascist tears. Make it political.
Plop. If you didn't need me.
Who is this for, dude? Who is this aimed at? They got a trans thing! Oh my god!
Wow! Punch the dough. Clean up the workstation.
Look at them gurgling and gurgling. They won. They won. I'm sorry to break it to you, but the Gerblin Empire is victorious. It's autistic. It's a more autistic Jim Carrey. Yeah, man. I can't. You know, obviously we're having a bit of a laugh with it, but who the fuck scrolls onto that and goes, "Wow, I actually, unironically, can't wait to see the Gerblin Empire thing again." I don't know. TikTok's weird. TikTok's weird. Pirate Software and his audience would love this. Well, I didn't even get to the Pirate Software stuff today, so that's okay. We'll get to that tomorrow. We've got plenty of time. We've got a whole week together, guys. I can't wait. I'm excited. Show this to your kid? No. They might catch whatever this person has. I'm good with that, thank you. I think I'll give that a miss, to be honest. Oh. Well, the problem is, it is very appealing to kids, but I just, you know, I don't think this person is like inappropriate in any way. It's just a bit like weird. If it, if it was like a person playing a character, it'd be fine. But there's a seriousness to this that I don't really appreciate.